Welcome to Keyboarding, Fall 2013. My name is Mrs. Spanier. Some students call me Mrs. Spanier and some students call me Holly. Either one is fine. We'll start with course expectations. We follow all the school policies such as the 2010 rule, which is no passes out of the class the first 20 minutes or the last 10 minutes. We'll follow all district acceptable use policies such as no browsing the internet or using Facebook or anything during class. We may have breaks here and there where you're allowed to do some of those things, but otherwise we'll follow the AUP policy. I like to have a classroom with a comfortable vibe. You should come to school, you should feel comfortable, stress-free as much as possible. And if there are any other expectations that you think is important for us to have in class, just let me know and we'll be sure to talk about them and share them with the rest of the class. In my mind, along with a comfortable vibe is not swearing. I'm not really too hot on swearing, so I'd appreciate that. So the goal for you in this class is to master keyboarding. Everybody can kind of just use their pointing finger and what they call hunt and peck on a keyboard, but the goal is to try and teach you how to keyboard at the keyboard with proper position, proper way of sitting at the keyboard to help you become more accurate and faster in keyboarding. And along with that, there'll be a little bit on some grammar. We won't be doing lessons on grammar, but it's just kind of built into what you're typing as in part of the typing book. So you'll see some of that, and then by the end, hopefully, learning to type letters and reports and so on, and composing at the keyboard. Grading, you are graded on quizzes or tests that you will be administered. The daily keyboarding lessons, so doing the lessons and listening to the feedback. We'll do timings after you've learned all the keys and how fast you can type and how accurate you can type. And then your technique evaluation. Are you taking all the direction and feedback that I give you for proper keyboarding? Your grade is 20% formative, so your daily work, and 80% summative, the tests and evaluations. So an example, as you're learning the keys, would be formative, but once you've had that and a test on some of the terminology would be a summative. Why learn keyboarding skills? 1, your future with jobs, perhaps. These are some examples of some ads that were in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune and Craigslist just last week for positions that are open, and any of them that showed qualifications needing keyboard. So there's keyboard needed. Here's one keyboarding experience, able to type 30 words per minute. Base pay $12.80 an hour. A customer account executive. Here's another one, strong keyboarding. That's just a data entry one. Another keyboarding and 10-key proficiency again. Computer literacy keyboarding skills. A legal receptionist in Hopkins, they're looking for 60 words a minute. Sometimes employers will actually have you sit down and do a keyboarding test for them right on their site as part of the interview process. And so our practice timings that we'll do here will be, I'll try to create a little bit of stress in that so that you can show yourself that you are able to perform under pressure, and here at school is not nearly as important as when you're trying to go for the job that you really want and you're having to perform then. So it's good practice that you can carry forward to potential interviews in the future. Here's one where they're looking for 35 words a minute. So, keyboarding is a skill that you can use in your future and may make a difference in getting a job or not. If you can write on your application, yes, I know how to keyboard 40 words a minute, that can get you in the door. Someone else may not be getting in the door. If you are planning on going to any post-secondary work, college for example, if you're sitting in a classroom taking notes from the professor, a lot of students will have a laptop in there and taking the notes rather than writing them out. Or if you're working on papers, if you are in a composition class and you have to create papers, or you're writing a thesis paper or something like that, it will save you time. You will be much more productive if you know how to properly keyboard and some of the tips and tricks that you'll be learning in this course. So it can help you then. I mentioned earlier the hunt and peck. So the person on the left is using the pointing finger to do all of their typing, and that is certainly one way to type, and some people even can get a little fast doing that. But what my goal is for you to learn how to do touch keyboarding, where you're not looking at your hands and you've memorized the keyboard. So it's just the same way as someone who's memorized the keys on a piano or the keys on a flute or something like that. You know them by touch. The keyboard, you can think of it as kind of breaking it down in half, the left hand and the right hand, and all the blue keys are used with one set of fingers, and the pink keys with another, and the red keys with another. And here you see the gray is the space bar is your thumb, the pinky on the left hits all those keys, the yellow on the left hits all those keys, the green on the left those keys, and so on. So you're going to learn to use those fingers on those keys, and it makes for the most efficient typing. You hear me refer to home row, and home row is kind of the base where you will keep your fingers when you are learning how to key. You'll start off learning the home row, and it's kind of the reference for when you are doing typing to come back to your home row at all the time. And in just a few moments I'll make sure that you are using the proper fingers on your home row and your keying. And this says by Friday, but it depends on what day you're starting the class here. Within a few days you'll actually be off of the home row and learning new keys. By the second and third, fourth day you'll be up and down all over the keyboard. Throughout the course I'll keep reminding on proper posture and why that is. It's to help you so that you don't get sore back and sore arms and sore shoulders and so on. So your head is straight, your back is straight, your arms, you'll notice, are level, they're not leaning down, the feet are flat on the floor, and we'll kind of go over this in more detail. And here's another example. So you're sitting at a comfortable distance, you're not scrunched up at your table there. And another angle.